Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a technical analysis review of Bitcoin. So if you guys are not into technical analysis, then you will not enjoy this video. So you guys can just march on right out of here. So yeah, it's been a while since I've actually talked about Bitcoin. I think I make one Bitcoin video every 6 months or something, or maybe no more than like three a year. Bitcoin, I think, has a lot of potential to resume its bull run that it basically had ever since its inception, all the way to late 2017. Obviously, there was a huge bear market with Bitcoin where it collapsed from about 20,000 all the way down to about 3.1K. I first started trading Bitcoin not too long ago, actually. It was sometime in 2019 or 2018. But in my opinion, I think Bitcoin follows a lot of mass psychology more so than anything else that I've ever seen before. And what I mean by that is it's been a little bit easier to trade than the general equity market or any stock that I've ever traded before. So I have been pretty successful, or not super successful, but I can walk through some of my trades recently and my average position and average cost and that kind of thing. So let's just jump right into the charts because clearly a lot has happened with Bitcoin. So this is a daily time frame, and what we're looking at is the past couple days. So on one single candlestick, Bitcoin dropped from about 9.7K all the way down to about 8K. So that's a drop of about 17% in a single day. Now, this is a perfect time to include the disclaimer that Bitcoin is extremely risky. Obviously, most of you guys that are watching this video know that. So I don't recommend Bitcoin to anyone. Unless, actually, I still don't know, like under no circumstances will you hear the words saying, I recommend you to trade or invest in Bitcoin. For my situation, however, I'm a little bit more strategic with my stop losses. I'll make sure that I don't put too much money into it. I'll make sure that I have my stop losses rather tight. So I think there are some more strategic ways to trade Bitcoin. So pretty much, yeah, let's do this. Let's go through some of my trades with Bitcoin, and then we can talk about the kind of analysis of it all. So I made a lot of my buys on Bitcoin when it was under 4K. And the reason why there's so many buys, I mean, take a look at all this. Like even in 2017 or 2018, I was buying. Let's actually figure out. Yeah, okay. So pretty much my strategy with Bitcoin was I had a feeling that it would basically find support here at the 200-week moving average, which is funny enough because that's an extremely important moving average for the equity market as well. When we're talking about the S&P 500, that's basically the last line of defense, in my opinion. As long as we're above this moving average, then the market is not in a recession. Interestingly enough, with Bitcoin, this is the exact level that I was watching out for, and this is exactly where we bounced. So I started scaling in after this drop, and I was able to purchase shares of Bitcoin for quite cheap, actually. So if I zoom in a little bit, so all the way to since November, actually, you can see some of these buys here: 3.8K, 4K, 3.7K, 3.5K, 3.3K, 3.3, 3.1, 3.1, 3.2. So all the way in this low 3,000 range or mid 3,000 range, I was buying, and basically we were still at support. And then here on June 27th, I sold here at about what is that? Yeah, that's 10K or 11K actually. So 10.9K was when I made my sell, and that was the first major sell that I did. So essentially, I made a lot of purchases at around 4K, 5K, even 3K, low 3K, and I made my first major sell of about $1,200 here at 10,000 on June 27th. And I didn't actually, what was I gonna say? I didn't have any more Bitcoin after I made this sell. And then right after, I was like, you know what? What am I thinking? Like, that's not a good time to sell. So I ended up buying some more, but then I ended up selling right after. So I was like, it was a case of FOMO, but like I'm not really scared about changing my mind. Like I don't feel dumb if I change my mind immediately after. I actually just made 3 trades, both a sell, a buy, and a sell within like just a week. So, but anyway, the reason why I bring this up is obviously for that one lesson, which is, you know, if you change your mind immediately, don't feel bad for selling right away. That's okay. Um, and the other thing is that the reason why I bring this up is because obviously this is going to screw up with my average costs, because I had an average cost of somewhere around like 4,000 or something really good. And then because I bought and sold and bought again, then my average cost ended up being like somewhere around 8,000 or something like that, which is where it's currently at. So I basically sold a lot of Bitcoin here around the mid tens, and as you guys can see, I finally bought again. After 4 months, I have finally started to re-enter the Bitcoin market. So somewhere around 8.5K is where I initiated my next buy, and that was earlier today. Let's go ahead and take a look at my average cost. Like I said, this average cost is a little bit misleading because of the buy sell. It should be more like 3K or something like that, or 4K. But yeah, so where's my head at basically over the next few weeks, few months? So I would love to see a retest here of the 50 MA on the weekly time frame. That sits at around 6.6K. The funny thing about Bitcoin is that when you have a support level, it's normal for Bitcoin to overshoot that by about $1,000. So you can't really have a super tight stop or super tight range, because it might just blow your range out of the water. So it's important to be a little bit careful there. But yeah, so this is one area that I'm watching out for. So anywhere from 6.6 all the way to here actually, so 6.6 to about 8.3. Why don't I go ahead and draw a target box? I used to do that a lot actually, but I stopped doing it for some reason. Here's my rectangle. There you go. Perfect. So this is where I started buying again, and this is where I will continue to be a buyer. In my absolute line in the sand, as you guys can see, this is where the 50 weekly MA is. My absolute line in the sand here is the 200 week moving average. I will have a stop loss here at the 200 week moving average, but that sits around maybe 4.5K. So basically, until we hit this point, I'm still a buyer of Bitcoin, but I'd be a little bit more cautious below the 50 MA on the weekly time frame. But yeah, that's basically where my head's at. And then one more cool thing that I want to show you guys, actually, the reason why I didn't do any buys up here, and the reason why I felt like we were going to drop, and one reason why I had that kind of confirmation was because we had a textbook descending triangle, which is bearish because it implies that the selling pressure is getting stronger because there is a descending trend line for resistance. But the support sits around the same level, so once that support breaks, it's usually off to the races in terms of the downside, and so that's exactly what we got here with Bitcoin. So I don't think we're at a make or break point yet for Bitcoin. I'd say something around like 6K, 7K is probably really, really good buying opportunity for me at least. So that's where my head's at, and I'm not going to have more than, let's say, $1,200 in Bitcoin at any given time. So that's basically my parameters going forward. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.